All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a good day out there. And with that said, in today's video, we're going to be talking about Ned Rigs. Now, Ned Rigs can be as complicated as you want to make them or as simple as you want to make them. Now, there are a million different Ned Rig plastics out there on the market. It seems like every year companies come out with a ton of new ones. As well as heads and head weights. I mean, some of the head weights are ridiculous. It goes from like a 32nd all the way up to like a 3/8 and a half. I'm crazy weights, but I like to keep my stuff very simple. I have 2 different heads that I use as well as 3 different weights. I only use 3 plastic profiles overall. So everything that I do in my Ned Rig fishing is really simple. Now, diving right into it, I only use 2 different styles of head, and that being the Z-Man Shroom Locks head, I think is what it's called. It's the one that has the lead keeper molded onto the shank of the hook there. That does a really good job of holding up all plastic, including Elastec, especially if you put a drop of super glue on there, holds all plastics up really nice. However, my favorite head by far is the Tungsten Ned head. This head honestly is just superior to the lead head over there in all aspects. I really like the lead head for practice and stuff like that. As you guys know, tungsten is a lot more of a durable material. So with that said, it just holds up a heck of a lot better. So anytime I'm in a tournament, this is the one that's going to get the call. The Tungsten one has a Gamakatsu hook in there, so a really premium hook. It's got a really awesome keeper that holds all plastics really well, but the key thing about it is that it's molded into the tungsten head. Because it's molded into the tungsten, it's going to be extremely durable. If you guys fish lead heads, you know that over time these lead heads break loose and kind of get really wobbly on the hook, if not fall off. I've actually had a few times where the lead falls off the shank of the hook for some reason. So definitely recommend the tungsten anytime the money's on the line. Whenever I'm fishing a tournament, that's the one that's going to be tied on. So go give those a look if you guys haven't already. You can also see it's got the weight stamped in there. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but you get the picture. So as far as weights go, I only use 3 different sizes of weights. I use an 1/8, a 1/4, and a 3/8. If you were only going to pick 2, I would say pick a really lightweight and a very heavyweight. Now, the reason I say that is because the rate of the fall of the 2 heads is going to be extremely different. One's going to fall very fast, the other one's going to fall very slow. That 1/4 ounce head, the middle size, I throw just as a dragging head anywhere from 0 to 10 foot. It's heavy enough to where it'll stay on the bottom if it's a little bit windy, but it's light enough to where it's not going to skyrocket to the bottom and have a super fast fall. But like I said, if you're only going to go with 2, go with a light one and a heavy one, obviously, because you can fish the light one in shallow water and the heavy one in deeper water. But more importantly, the rate of fall. You need to play around with the rate of fall on your Ned Rig, and you'll definitely generate some more strikes by doing that. So moving over into the plastics, I'm going to talk about the only 3 that I really throw anymore. Yes, there might be an exception here or there, but these are 3 plastics that you can take all over the country and catch fish on. The first one is going to be the Finesse TRD. Now, this is just an absolute staple. For those of you who have fished a Ned Rig before, you know that this bait is extremely effective for whatever reason. The only thing I will say is when you pull this bait out of the pack to rig it up, this is called the deal. Very bait fish shad imitating kind of color there. But when you take this out of the package, you have to make sure you rough these baits up a little bit and stretch out that Elastec. There's like a salt almost in this plastic that prohibits the buoyancy of the bait. They always claim that this bait floats right out of the package, but it does not. You need to get some of that plastic out, and for some reason, as soon as you stretch it like this, the bait actually becomes buoyant and it will stand up on a Ned head. So make sure you do that before you rig it up on a head. Now, moving over to the next bait that I found out this year that I really, really like, that being the Tackle HD Ned Mite. Now, the Ned Mite is an extremely interesting profile. It's actually a Helgramite, and it's just kind of like a larva type bug, but it pairs up really, really nice on a Ned head. Very interesting tail, super thin, just really has a good waving action in the water. Doesn't have a whole lot of plastic, so the resistance is really little. It's got a really good waving action. Also looks really good on a drop shot. I did fish that on a drop shot a little bit this year, but really killer profile of a bait that not a lot of guys are throwing. So definitely go pick you up some of those Ned Mites. Now, the last one that I want to talk about here is probably the bait that I am most excited to fish with this year on a Ned Rig, because I haven't had the opportunity to do it yet, and that being the Excite Baits Mad Craw Junior. Now, this is an extremely realistic craw-looking bait. Just going to pair up phenomenal on a Ned head. For those of you who fish for smallmouth, you know that like a 3-inch crawdad is an absolute snack for a smallmouth. But like I said, very, very realistic looking. I mean, just the attention to detail on this soft plastic is unbelievable. So I'll actually rig this one up on a Ned head and show you guys what it looks like here. Here's a tungsten head. So all you do is you come in and just basically thread the plastic up onto the head. Now, I know there's also those EWG style Ned heads out there. Personally, I don't like those. They don't have a really good hookup ratio to them. Just don't like how the head sets up. So you guys can see there, really, really awesome. Just super, super natural. Just a little snack, especially for some pressured fish. That is when I typically fish a Ned head, is for pressured fish or smallmouth. Down south, you guys can upsize these baits to potentially get you some more bites. But when I think of a Ned Rig, and most people think of a Ned Rig, we think of small, finesse type stuff to trick finicky or really, really pressured fish. So extremely excited to try that plastic. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them down in the comments section there, as well as to like the video, subscribe, tell your buddies about it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.